The world is witnessing a new kind of protest against American foreign policy, one led not by crowds in the streets, but by governments acting in concert. Instead of fragmented outrage, allied nations are now coordinating deliberate, strategic pushback against destabilizing moves by the Trump administration. This marks a fundamental shift. Traditional allies are forming a united front to defend global norms and their own interests. Months of quiet discussions have led to a calculated, measured response, one that aims to counterbalance U.S. actions without open conflict. At the center of this movement is Mark Carney, a Canadian leader known for his quiet influence and ability to build consensus. Carney's leadership is reshaping international diplomacy, moving allies from isolated reactions to collective, strategic action. The protests now happen in diplomatic channels and economic policy, not just public squares. The world is watching. Can this united front uphold international cooperation under pressure? This is a pivotal test for established alliances, one that will determine if they can adapt to today's unique challenges. The story is no longer about one leader's actions, but about the world's collective response. A new era of strategic alignment is here. The stakes for global order have never been higher. Canada, once known for quiet diplomacy, is stepping into a new, assertive role on the world stage. Under Mark Carney's guidance, Canada is leading a coalition of like-minded nations to uphold international norms through collective action. The Carney Doctrine isn't about abandoning mediation, it's about recognizing that quiet diplomacy alone no longer suffices. Every move is calculated. Economic leverage, diplomatic pressure, and a united front are now Canada's tools. Carney's expertise in global finance and politics allows him to craft powerful, precise strategies. He's not a traditional politician, but a technocrat who understands the levers of global power. Canada is no longer just a follower, it's actively shaping the global response. This marks a new phase in international relations, where expertise and strategic planning are the keys to navigating turbulence. Carney's emergence signals a shift. Leadership now means building coalitions and defending the rules-based order. Canada is at the forefront of this transformation. Reports of potential U.S. military plans for Greenland have shocked the international community, challenging long-standing norms of sovereignty. This isn't just a territorial dispute, it's a test of the post-war global order and the alliances that sustain it. Allies, especially in Europe and Canada, are alarmed by the idea that even close partners could face unilateral pressure. The response has been swift. Led by Mark Carney, allied governments have drawn a clear line, warning of severe consequences for any such move. This is about more than defending Denmark's sovereignty, it's about upholding the principles that prevent conflict among Western nations. The coordinated response demonstrates the power of collective security. Instead of dividing allies, the Greenland episode has brought them closer, galvanizing resistance to destabilizing actions. Silence is no longer an option. Firm, unified action is now the norm. The incident has become a rallying point for those defending a world governed by rules, not force. Amid loud confrontational politics, Canada and its European partners are modeling a different approach: quiet, coordinated action. Mark Carney is the architect, weaving together a coalition of officials and leaders who understand that unity is their greatest strength. Their strategy: respond to every provocation with a clear, unified, and proportional answer, establishing boundaries without seeking confrontation. Carney's influence is most potent behind the scenes, shaping policy and building consensus away from the spotlight. He connects finance ministers, central bankers, and political leaders, enabling complex economic and diplomatic maneuvers. This quiet orchestration is the engine of the global response. Calm, coordinated resistance is proving more effective than open conflict. The administration in Washington now faces a bloc that's difficult to dismiss or divide. In today's world, leadership is about building bridges and fostering collective action. Quiet diplomacy is emerging as a powerful tool against political disruption. The geopolitical climate has triggered a realignment of alliances, with Canada and Europe forging a powerful new axis of cooperation. This isn't a formal treaty, but a practical alignment to defend the rules-based order. Leaders in Ottawa, Berlin, Paris, and Brussels have concluded they must take responsibility for stability themselves. The result: unprecedented coordination on trade, climate, security, and law. Mark Carney's deep ties make him a natural bridge, transforming shared concern into concrete action. This bloc is now more resilient and independent, able to act collectively, even if it means diverging from the U.S. The implications are profound. Washington now faces a united group of allies willing to act independently. The old certainties are gone. A new chapter in international relations has begun. Mark Carney's upcoming visit to China is a bold move, opening a new front of economic leverage in the standoff with the Trump administration. By engaging Beijing, Canada and Europe signal they have options beyond their traditional U.S. partnership. The goal isn't a full alliance with China, but pragmatic cooperation on trade and investment to counterbalance U.S. policy. Carney's expertise in international finance makes him the ideal envoy for this delicate mission. Talks will focus on upholding WTO rules, coordinating responses to tariffs, and exploring new investment avenues. This is economic statecraft at its highest level, using markets and capital flows to achieve strategic goals. The engagement with China marks a significant escalation in the coordinated response to Washington. It sends a clear message: if the U.S. undermines the global system, its allies are ready to build new structures. Carney's visit could reshape global economic alignments and introduce a powerful new dynamic in defending the rules-based order. The world is watching this pivotal moment. Economic leverage is central to Carney's strategy, especially in the global automotive industry. The North American auto sector is deeply integrated, but vulnerable to disruption from tariffs. Threats of U.S. tariffs have alarmed not just Canada and Europe, but also the American auto industry. Carney and allies are prepared to retaliate, making clear that a trade war would be mutually destructive. The China visit adds another layer. By collaborating with the world's largest auto market, Canada and Europe can diversify supply chains and reduce U.S. dependence. A German-Canadian-Chinese alignment on automotive standards and electric vehicles is a powerful incentive for the U.S. to reconsider protectionism. This isn't about abandoning North American partnerships, but about demonstrating independence and leverage. Canada is proving it has options and won't be held hostage by economic threats. Building broad coalitions and new partnerships protects Canadian interests and pressures the U.S. toward cooperation. Strategic maneuvering in the auto sector is a model for defending the integrated global economy. The global response isn't just anti-Trump, it's a principled stand for the rules-based international order. This system, built over 70 years, ensures peace and prosperity by holding all nations to common rules. Leaders like Carney see this order under existential threat from escalating unilateral actions, the pattern questioning alliances, withdrawing from agreements, and using tariffs as weapons. Taken together, these moves threaten the foundations of global cooperation. Allied leaders have concluded that only a collective response can prevent collapse. The challenge for Washington: it's much harder to confront a united bloc than to divide and conquer. The defense of global rules is the coalition's central theme. Law, not power, must govern international relations. This is a calculated strategic effort to restore stability and predictability. The outcome will shape the future of the global order for generations. Today's crisis is forging a new model of leadership, one based on collective containment, not unilateral power. Mark Carney and his European counterparts are pioneering this approach, building coalitions to preserve stability and uphold international rules. The strategy: draw boundaries around disruptive behavior through diplomatic solidarity and economic leverage, not military force. This is leadership as crisis management, resilient, pragmatic, and collaborative. The world is too interconnected for any nation to go it alone. Calm, unified resistance is proving more effective than confrontation. This quiet revolution in statecraft may define the future of global alliances. The preservation of the system now takes precedence over individual advantage.